I am live. Hello, my friends. Welcome to Brianna's random coffee chat. It is in fact coffee time. There is coffee in my mug, even though it is 1:30 in the afternoon. And I basically have coffee because I'm trying a new coffee. I'm trying Bones Coffee, and it is a flavored coffee company that I think they have basic coffees too. I don't know, but Bones Coffee is one that is like known for their fancy, fantastic flavors, right? So I'm a sucker. I'm always a sucker when I buy something, right? And I bought their like a trial pack of like picking my own flavors, and I bought some pumpkin spice, and I bought a holiday one called Oh Fudge because your girl has a love for A Christmas Story. Wow, brain fart. And I'm trying some like mint chocolate one. And I see what they did. Like the mint is there, the chocolate is there, but I think I'm a dark roast kind of girl. I wasn't always a dark roast girl, but I think I am now. It's not coffee. It's not strong enough coffee flavor for me. But anyway, that's why it's coffee chat, because I literally have coffee sitting here at 1:30 in the afternoon. And I just wanted to hop on and chit chat with y'all for a little bit. So hello, happy Tuesday. Tuesday. It is in fact Tuesday. So this feels apropos because I used to stream on Tuesdays all the time until recently. So I'm actually going through and making sure that I actually am not using enough bandwidth. I did not plan this out. This is how you know it's impromptu, because I'm not prepared. When am I ever prepared, y'all? When am I ever prepared? I tell you what, I'm sharing the link to make sure people know about it. But anyway, hello, happy Tuesday. I wanted to come on here and just chit chat about life, because I find I get the most out of my brainstorming, my own personal thinking, when I am chatting with you guys. Sometimes it's chatting with my girlfriends, right? I get the feedback when I need feedback, or it just allows me to get my thoughts out in a way that like I don't process when I'm just thinking quietly. You know, does anybody else like that? Does anybody else need to chat out loud to really get something to process in a different way than if you were just thinking about it? That is how things are happening for me in real time. And I started to talk about this topic of being burnt out on when did I do my chat? Last Wednesday on the 1st. And first, is that right? I don't even know anymore. Yes. Our group chat, our monthly live stream. And I started, like, people could tell that something was a little bit off with me. And I can tell that something is off with me. And we determined in real time with talking through it that ultimately it's probably a bit of COVID burnout, a bit of 18 months in quarantine, like really trying to be careful and having this element of like trying to avoid getting sick. It's exhausting, right? And it takes a lot away, especially from somebody who came from a place where she's always doing things on the weekend, always seeing family, always doing all these things. All of that to say, we have figured out, the people that I talk to have figured out that like, I'm just burnt out. I'm burnt out, and something has got to change. Something's got to give. And so as I've been reading through things, and by reading through things, I mean, like, I literally read at least one self-help book every single month. I have been inspired by a lot of the things that are in these books that I'm reading. And I talked briefly about one of the things that I was trying today on Instagram, and it involves the morning routine. And I believe this book that I got it in, and if there are any book club members on here, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this showed up in Fear is My Homeboy by Judy Holler. And what it talked about was having this sacred time, like making sure you block your time. A lot of the things that you will find in most self-help books, especially if you stay kind of within the same genre of self-help, the same niche, which for the book club is typically productivity, time management, getting things done, getting towards your goals, right? That's pretty much where we focus. And there are no new ideas in this niche. It is old ideas that are being repeated back in different ways by different authors, but it's all the same stuff, right? So a lot of the things that are discussed and the ideas that are presented to us are overlapped. And so it's been in multiple books of all the things that I've been mulling over in my head. And one of the things that spoke to me was this idea of guarding your time blocks, safeguarding your time. And my husband is at an appointment, so I wanted to make sure it's not him texting me. But because of that, safeguarding your time and everything, there's like morning routines, eating the frog, doing the thing that's the biggest to-do list item, doing your one most important thing first thing in the day. Like, there are different ways to use this time blocked time, but in general, the concept is the same. Set aside time, preferably in the morning when you are at your freshest and your most energized, to do the things that are most important to you uninterrupted, right? That's the basic concept that most of these books have either preached directly or not disagreed with, right? Maybe that's not specifically their suggestion, but they don't say anything to the contradiction, right? Hi, Amberly, good to see you. So that's what I tried this morning. I was like, you know what? I think Fear is My Homeboy specifically. I think Judy talks about, like, what if your morning routine lasted until 11 o'clock in the morning? And at first I was like, when I read this, I was like, whoa, like, how is that a productive morning routine? But she goes on to say that, like, that also includes getting your most important thing done. Like, if you are somebody that had to go to an office every day, if you got up, did your morning routine stuff, got ready, went to work, and sequestered yourself in your office with the sole intention of focusing on the most important thing you had to do until 11 o'clock, and then you were only accessible to other humans after 11 o'clock in the morning, imagine how your productivity would skyrocket. Imagine how focused your day would have been, and all that jazz, right? So I kind of took that to heart this morning. And I was first thinking about, like, what if I do my one thing? We just finished reading The One Thing by, I can't remember who it's by, but we just finished reading The One Thing, and it basically talks about narrowing your focus from a to-do list to a success list, meaning taking all of your to-dos and picking like 4 or 5 of those items that are actually the most important things that will get you moving forward. And then from that one thing, that list, you pick the one thing that is the most important thing. What is the one thing that you can do for whatever area of your life that will render everything else unimportant, unnecessary, things like that? So one of the things that they suggest in that book is like a solid 4-hour time block to focus on your one thing, right? Focus on your one thing. And I'm like, this is great and all, but what about my morning routine? And then they talk about the importance of like movement and meditation and your spiritual life and your physical health and everything before you get to the one thing, and fueling your body and your energy properly. So I was like, well, because I considered for a brief second, and this is welcome to me word vomiting all of the thoughts that are in my head. I was like, based on the one thing, I was like, well, what if I change my schedule around, and instead of doing like elaborate morning routine, I pared that down. I got rid of reading. I got rid of the workout in the morning, and I just did, like, my morning routine was grab my cup of coffee, maybe do a little bit of journaling, spending some quiet time with God, and being on my merry way to doing the most important thing, right? Spending time in my office, working on my channel, working on my coaching business, whatever, for about 4 hours. That would get me to about lunchtime, right? And then after that, go and do like my workout and have my reading be an afternoon activity and things like that. And so I woke up this morning with the intention of trying that. But then as I started to think through things, and this is where my brainstorming gets the better of me, and how I like to, I can change things to make, if the current thing I'm doing is not working, which is what I'm trying to do. I want to change things because the current thing I'm doing isn't working. However, I found many flaws in the plan that would render the new plan very, very inconvenient. For example, if my one thing was that I had to film today and I got all dolled up and put makeup on, and then I went in the middle of the day and worked out and would have to shower and wipe all the makeup off, then I'd have to put makeup back on and do all this, and then there's like, but what if noon or 1 o'clock rolls around and I've used so much of my mental energy that my physical energy is lacking? Therefore, I can't really do a legitimate workout at 1 or 2 in the afternoon because I just don't have the energy. Thank you, chronic illness, right? Y'all, I want to like this coffee. I really want to like it. And I don't. I'm so sad. Hopefully the other flavors are better because that tastes like minty coffee water. Anyway, so this morning I woke up and I was like, okay, we're going to do it the Judy Holler way. And we're going to spend up until 11 o'clock. I had something to do at 11 o'clock. I had an interview, actually. I wasn't doing the interviewing. I was being interviewed for a Scary Mommy article. How cool is that? Like, Scary Mommy is a website that I see shared on Facebook and stuff all the time. So it was very exciting. So I had something to do at 11 o'clock this morning. And I was like, well, that's gross. It is gross, Amber. I'm trying Bones coffee. And I got this mint chocolate one. Thankfully, I only got the sampler, but it's not coffee enough. It's not coffee enough. And I don't know when I turned into a dark roast girl. I don't know, but now I desperately want my coffee to taste like coffee. And I wanted to try Bones because I've heard amazing things about it. But it's minty coffee water. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. I know coffee is just bean water, but this actually tastes like coffee water and not coffee. It's not strong enough. It's not strong enough. Anyway, so this morning I woke up and I ended up waking up a little bit later. I set my alarm till 7:30 and I was moving a little bit slow. So I got bathroom, weigh in, make the bed, whatever. I was out and had my butt in my recliner with my coffee at 8 o'clock this morning. And I was like, okay, so what if I did the whole morning routine thing until 11? I was allowed to not have to do work mode until 11 a.m. But I had to get everything morning routine related done by 11 a.m., which also meant I couldn't screw around procrastinating on my workout and things like that. So I got up, I did a little bit of journaling, I took care of my dog, I ate an RX bar for breakfast, I did journaling, I did Bible study, I spent some quiet time with God, and I did some reading. I started our new book club book. And then I just kept going, changed my clothes. And I was like, okay, I have a little bit of food in my body. I've got 1 cup of coffee in my body. I will drink my 2nd cup of coffee later. And I went downstairs and I warmed up on the elliptical for 10 minutes. I did a weight training workout and then I did another 15 minutes on the elliptical to get some steps in. And I got upstairs at 10:15, showered, makeup, got dressed, had my 2nd cup of coffee and my water and my butt in my chair by 11 o'clock in the morning. And you know what? I feel like it was such an appropriate way to spend my morning, and now I have the rest of the day to do whatever it is I need to do. And so I want to work for a few hours, do some homemaking for a few hours. Everything just kind of felt balanced. And I really, really loved that. So I feel like this is going to be welcome to the new era of Brianna's content. Diva and the Divine is always constantly changing and growing because ultimately what Diva and the Divine is me sharing my journey through life with you, right? Yes, technically it started as a beauty thing, but most of you don't actually know that. But it kind of developed itself into a weight loss channel. But why did it do that? Because that's where I was in life, sharing this journey. And interestingly, sharing the journey after it had already happened. Now that I'm thinking about it, so I have somewhere on the YouTubes, I do have another channel that hardly anybody knows about. If you have found it, good job. But it's interesting because I started on YouTube way back when I was living at my parents' house and in my bright green bedroom and doing like beauty tutorials, which is hilarious now that, Um, yes. And it wasn't, Amberly, it wasn't even like it was a slow start. It didn't feel slow. It was just, I didn't let myself get distracted by social media, by checking in on clients, by my to-do list, basically. Like I need to do dishes. I need to put laundry away. I have like a home list that needs to happen. I also have some videos I need to edit and everything. And just today I felt very even keeled and not anxious about like, I'll get to it eventually. But from until 11 o'clock, all I have to do is what I need to do to get ready to start my day. Fuel my body, move my body, spend time with God, journal if I feel like journaling, and read. That's what I have to do. And I think the secret was the one thing that like I really struggle with committing to a time to is my workout. Because part of me wants to sit and wait until I feel like working out. But half the time I don't feel like working out anyway. Like, what I mean by that is like, so I feel like I have the energy to effectively work out. That's what I mean. And I don't necessarily always, like, some days the energy doesn't come, it doesn't happen. And so then I start to use it as an excuse for like, oh no, I'll do it later. And then I just keep pushing it off until it's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon anyway, which is where I lack the energy to do it anyway. So I'm like, that's stupid. What if my goal was to be exercised, clean, dressed, and ready to go by 11 o'clock? Like, what if my workday started at 11? That is a very generous time frame for my morning, especially if I can get up at 7. Like, that is a lot of time. There's a lot of time to do what I need to do for me personally. Address the self-care, address the mental slowness of the day. So in kind of way, like slow start to the morning, I didn't have to get up and like jump right in. I didn't have to get up and get distracted by all of the to-dos and the should-dos and everything. I was able to do strictly things that were for me: reading, coffee, prayer, Bible time, working out, and it helped. And I feel good about it. So it's one of those things that I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out, and our talk the other day was actually very helpful, Amberly. I'm trying to figure out how to structure things so I can find enjoyment in them and not feel overwhelmed. I am chronically overwhelmed, and I talked about this a lot on the live stream. I'm chronically overwhelmed by the expectations that I put on myself. Nobody else's expectations. It is rare that it is somebody else's expectation that is making me feel bogged down. It is very rare. It is my own expectations that make me feel bogged down, Yes, that's a really good point. And I actually am going to talk to my clients about that specifically, because I have one client who regularly books 9 a.m., but I don't mind. Like, I could manipulate the day for like 1 day a month or 2 days a month, whatever she needs. That would make sense. But because she also works full time, I want to make sure that I keep that open. But in general, that's a really good point. And I have thought about that. I was like, is it too limiting? Is it too limiting for me to put that limit? Is it too limiting for me to put that limit on my schedule? And I think for now, it's probably not, right? For now, it's probably not that limiting. So that's a good point. I should do that for now and just talk to people and be like, look, if you need an appointment, please tell me and I can schedule one, because I can override my own schedule. I can make an appointment for you, which would be fine. But yeah, and I just think I want to just try this for a while. And this is a really great week for me to do it because I only have one coaching call. Everybody, all of my clients are just kind of going through their motions this week, doing their tracking, reaching out to me when they need me. But I only have one sit down and let's chat call this week, which means this is a great week for me to figure out if this is something I want to pursue in the long term. But and I don't know if you can tell or not, like I'm feeling a lot more optimistic about things. My load has not changed, but my mindset about my load has changed. And well, my load has kind of changed. And that's something that I also want to discuss. I had an experience today. If you had time available in the evening, it would be just as well. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And I'm usually open until like 6 o'clock, typically. Sometimes a little bit later, but your girl has to cook dinner sometimes. I'm sad. I should just stop drinking it. I'm sad every time I drink it. You know the coffee is not great when you would prefer to drink the water instead of the coffee. I'm so bummed. I'm so bummed. Thank you. I feel better. I feel better. And so honestly, our conversation had a lot to do with it because you really helped. I am somebody who, and I don't remember if I said this before, but like I thrive off of getting permission from someone else because I put the expectations on myself, right? And it is a regularly occurring thing for me that I will drive myself to doing the things the wrong way and the burnout way until somebody gives me permission to do it differently. Hi, Lindsay. Good to see you. Just saw your live now. I'm glad you're here. So a good example of that is when I went to the sleep doctor for the first time a couple of years ago. I was having epic insomnia, bad insomnia. And all I wanted to do in this life was go to bed at a decent hour and get 8 hours of sleep. And because I put that expectation on myself, it's stupid. I don't know what disorder you want to call this, but because I had the expectation of like, I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep, I'm going to go to bed early, all of these things, I get in bed and I can't fall asleep. And then all of a sudden, this beautifully blocked off 8 hours of sleep turns into 5 hours of crap sleep because I couldn't fall asleep. So I went to the sleep doctor and I told him about this, right? And he's the one who said, okay, so here's what we're going to do. You have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning. Still get up at your normal time of 7 a.m., but you have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning because I would rather you be asleep for 6 hours and get 100% sleep quality than be in bed for 8 hours and get 60% sleep quality. You will thrive better off of those 6 hours of good sleep instead of the 8 hours of crap sleep. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I stayed up till 1 a.m. until for about a week. And lo and behold, I started to sleep better, go to bed earlier and actually fall asleep because I didn't have that pressure. I was given permission to stay up as late as I needed to stay up to be tired. And magically, I started getting tired at a time that allowed me to go to sleep and get 7-8 hours sleep. Why I couldn't give myself permission to do that, I have no idea. But the second somebody else gave me permission to do it, it changed, right? So talking things through with you, Amberly, even though I don't need permission from you specifically to do anything, you saying, hey, why don't you try X, Y, and Z? And talking through the future of my channel and the content on my channel really helped me because it was like somebody else saying, hey, it was somebody else saying, hey, it's okay if you need to do this instead of this. And so after we talked, I was like, hey, Brianna, it's okay if you need to do this instead of this. And it was just like I saw the light. Hi, Marie, on this perfect Minnesota fall day. I know, 75. Can you even call that fall in Minnesota? I don't even know. But it was 59 this morning. So we're at this weird point where it's frustrating for my husband and I because it gets very hot upstairs, right? And so we desperately want the windows to be open, but it gets really hot. So after if it gets to be any hotter than 72, we have to close the windows and turn the air on because otherwise it gets too hot upstairs. And so we're like, it's 60 degrees. Let's open the window. And then 3 hours later, it's 75. Too hot. So we are so close to the perfect fall weather. We need it to just be a high of 70. And then we can just have the windows open all day and it'll be fantastic. Sounds like it's tied to your obliger tendency. Isn't that the truth though? Isn't that the truth? This and it's weird because it's the natural tendency of the obliger is to not even want to do the goals you put on yourself. And like, for me, it's almost like the opposite. I want to do them, but I want to do them so perfectly that I end up overwhelmed. But then when someone gives me permission to let go of this perfection, this expectation that I gave myself, magically I feel better about it. But I was thinking that as I was talking a little bit earlier, I'm like, man, this is probably very obliger of me, but in some weird twisted way. Hi, Rosie. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday that feels like a Monday. I have said it's Monday multiple times today. So, all that to say, my friends, as you might have noticed, I have appeared live on my channel more often than I have in the more recent months. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm here for it. I love it. I did my Sunday morning unboxing of my Grove products. Literally, my husband was just upstairs doing some work before church. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go live and I'm going to do it live. And so I think one of like the pressures of life and of YouTube, first and foremost, like my mind is spinning. So bear with me as I just keep word vomiting at you all the thoughts that happened. Today, I was interviewed for, and I know she's going to see this video, so hi. I was interviewed for a Scary Mommy article about CMT, and which is so cool. And the interviewer was somebody who talked about, who wants to do this article on CMT, not because she heard about CMT and found me, but because she found me and learned about CMT. And we were talking briefly about my content. She's been watching my channel since 2018. And she talked a lot about, she's like, even after your Weight Watchers world and all that, like just, she goes, I watch you for you. And because the way you present yourself and the messages that you have, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're doing something important, even if it's not currently weight loss related. Even it just, she said things like that, which were so reaffirming to me that, like, in my frustration of views going down, numbers going down, engagement going down, it was a clear sign that you're like, no, you're still where you need to be. You're still doing what you need to be doing. Keep doing it. So that was just today an indicator to me of like, okay, what matters is not, and I know this is just one person's opinion, but it really spoke to me. And I felt like it was important. I felt like it was important. Like I was being told this from her, but it was like God telling me, like, you're in the right place. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so because I felt that, it was, between getting that today and the conversation that I had earlier or later last week and everything, the changes that I'm doing, I am not as worried about batching my content for all of the informational purposes if that's what's stressing me out right now. Instead, what if I just share what's going on in my life with you? What if I decide to randomly have a bad coffee chat, and I don't mean the chat is bad, I mean the coffee is bad, on a random Tuesday afternoon because my people, y'all show up, and chat with me and just tell you what's on my mind and what I'm experiencing in real time. I want to share with you that I'm reorganizing my house and enjoying it. And I want to share with you that I'm working on changing the ingredients of the food I eat. I'm working on cleaner eating. And let me share with you the groceries that I'm finding and the changes that I'm finding in real time. I want to share with you the fact that I'm almost in maintenance and I get to stay in maintenance for a long time. And then I get to lose weight later. And let me share with you the stresses that I'm having and the real life anxieties and burnout struggles that I am dealing with and show you how I'm managing them instead of being so concerned. And yes, let me tell you about, sorry, I'm distracted by people that I don't necessarily trust. Lindsay, are you still an admin on here? Just out of curiosity. I'm in StreamYard, so I can't actually see who has a wrench next to their name. I just like knowing that I have an admin in the chat when necessary. But like, I want to just share. And Maybe that means I'm not cranking out the top 5 tips for losing 5 pounds by next Thursday or whatever, but I'm sharing what this channel was originally intended to be, which is sharing my life with you. And you know what that does? It takes a lot of the pressure off. It takes a lot of the pressure off. It shows me that I can do a little unboxing video randomly on a Sunday. And okay, cool. Thank you, Lindsay. And if it's too much trouble, you don't have to. I think I have the power to control things from here, but I can't see exactly what's going on over there. So, yeah. But so like that's just kind of what's happening in my head right now. And so like I have a couple of things coming in the mail. So what if I do a little haul video, or what if I do a grocery haul? And that's all the video is a couple minute grocery haul. And Amberly, this will sound vaguely familiar to our conversation because it was you who gave me these ideas. And it takes the pressure off and it puts the joy back in sharing with you for now. And then what if like, and maybe the answer is, this is how I share and I vlog and I do things like that until January 2022, when my weight loss journey will pick back up. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Does this sound intriguing to you? Does this, I don't know. Like I said, this is literally just me word vomiting my thoughts, but I want to be fully transparent in the struggles that I'm having and the steps that I am taking to fix them. And right now, one of the big struggles I am having is feeling burnt out by the very thing that brought me so much joy before. And it's interesting because this is part of my job now, and I love it. I love that I have the option to make an income by sharing my life and my information with you. I love that. But there is an element of putting that sort of pressure on something that was solely a hobby before that takes some of the fun out. And I want to make sure that I never resent sharing videos with you. I never want to resent creating content for you, my community, because I love you. I love this community that we have built. And I'm excited to see where it goes. The Patreon, there's only a handful of patrons right now, but I am loving it. Our Discord channel is fun. We have so many different little subgroups. We talk about goals. We talk about, let me just pull it up. Goals. We have book chat. We have health nutrition chat. We have faith chat. Y'all, we even have a place for our cute pet photos. I mean, our Discord is freaking awesome. I love it. And I love that that's a part of the community now. And all right, we're going to get rid of you. Goodbye. And we're going to get rid of you too. There we go. I can apparently block people from on here. And so that's just where I'm at right now. You know, let's answer some comments. Open windows upstairs overnight to cool it down. My husband won't let me leave the windows open at night, and I don't know why. We live in one of the safest neighborhoods ever. Literally, the other night, we not only failed to close our garage, but we didn't lock either of our cars either. And you know what happened? Nothing. Literally nothing, which was very reaffirming that we live in an incredibly safe place. But like somehow we managed to forget to close the door after we were out and about. We went out and about a lot this weekend, and it was awesome. We went to like the downtown area. We took Gracie down to this little small town that's by us that has this beautiful main street where we get our ice cream and we get our favorite pizza. We went for tacos the other week, and there's a brewery there that allows dogs. And so we took Gracie with us while my husband had a beer and I had this like spiked slushy seltzer thing. And like we had all these things and we're like, let's spend some more time outside. So we pulled out the chairs and we put them in the front patio because my husband hates sitting in the sun. So we put it in a place that didn't have sun. And apparently he unloaded the chairs through the garage and left the garage door open. But then we started coming in and out through the front door. So we never closed the garage door. And then that morning I went to go change Gracie's pad and I opened the door and lo and behold, we left the garage open. And then later I went to do something in the car and I acknowledged that our car doors were unlocked. But so I came in, I'm like, so the bad news is we left the car unlocked and the garage open. The good news is Literally nothing happened. So all that to say, Marie, I don't know why he won't let me keep the windows open at night. I grew up in the Midwest. Like, that's what we do. But he doesn't like to keep the windows open at night. I don't know. I'm still working on talking him into it. Maybe once it gets a little bit cooler more consistently, maybe he'll, let it go. It can be so much more freeing to do a live versus the need to edit a perfect video. Yeah, it's true. It's very true. We watch for you. Thank you. It seemed like I think sometimes creators forget that YouTube is the free content part of their business, so it shouldn't be pressure filled. So I like where you're going with this. Yes, and that is something that even in content batching bootcamp, that's what we were regularly reminded of. The content is not your business, and which for me at the time of taking content batching bootcamp was a little bit more irrelevant because at the time the content was my primary part of my business. But now that I have the coaching business, that's actually true. Like I have a YouTube channel that is the free content, and then I have a business, which is the paid program. And yes. And I'm very, very interested in just relaxing a little bit and just sharing what I'm doing, whatever it is I'm doing, sharing what I'm doing. And when you have, when I'm back in weight loss mode, then I'll start doing the, how I lost 5 pounds and blah, 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 because I'll be doing it in real time. And in the meantime, you all just have to watch me for me and not for the number on my scale. How did she like that? Gracie, we don't really know. She's not very well behaved on a leash. I have tried. Mama worked real hard on trying to get this girl to not pull and to not be a jerk on a leash. Apparently, Mama didn't try hard enough because she's a jerk on a leash. So it's a major pain walking with her because she likes to pull all the time. Just like leans, like she walks like this. It's dumb. But and she like didn't really know what to do with herself. Like she sat in the back of the brewery and like saw some of the other dogs and like started to whine when she didn't have a little fluffy place to put her behind because there was cement or there was somebody's lap, and we all know how she feels about sitting on our laps. But I think she appreciated going out, I don't know. It's been so hard because since we left Illinois and, since COVID, we haven't really had an opportunity to socialize her much. So she's a little out of practice. And it's not that she likes other dogs most of the time. Sometimes she's super friendly. Sometimes she's an aggressive little jerk. I don't know. And like, she's like that with her cousin, big old Zoe. Like, it's funny because she's a little bit more testy with littler dogs than she is with giant 70-pound dogs because she has Zoe. But some days she and Zoe are BFFs, and some days Gracie wants to rip Zoe's head off. And I don't know what the difference maker is. But she loves people. So we really don't know. And Eric and I even joked, and we're like, we don't know how she feels about this. Like, how exactly is Gracie, like, is this fun for her, or are we traumatizing her by taking her out with us? Because we're just trying to be good dog parents. I live in a townhouse. I used to call folks if their garage door was open at 9 p.m. and all cars were home. We now have new people now, so we don't do that anymore. Yeah, we live in a townhouse too. And which is great. Like, it's just reaffirming that we live in a really safe neighborhood, which is so nice. And there's people, I was talking to our neighbor the other day, and just like, there's always people coming and going. Some people leave for work at like 3:00 in the morning. So like, there is no good time for things to go wrong here. It's very comfortable and very safe, which I'm very grateful for. And aren't the views similar anyway to my lives versus my regular views? Yeah, and it totally depends. If I'm better about even titling my live streams, like the Grove live stream is doing pretty darn well for a Sunday morning impromptu video. Like, it's really not doing bad at all. It's got more comments than I've gotten on videos in a long time. Like, it's good. Oh, well, this one says 36 views. I don't think that's accurate. Now I'm just looking because y'all are just here hanging out. 305 views. Yeah, no, it's doing great. It's doing great. And it was an impromptu live stream on a Sunday morning. So I also like the freeform chats. So relatable. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to be. And so the problem with, like, I guess my hesitation with the freeform chats is half the time I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth. I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. Like today, I was just like, I did the interview, I went and I had lunch, and I went live in my group coaching Facebook group because I promised them a live Q&A, and I answered some of their questions. And just because I was on a roll with talking, and my husband's not home, so I don't even have to worry about interrupting him in his work calls, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go live on YouTube because I didn't upload a video yesterday, and why the heck not? And so what am I going to call it? I don't know. What am I going to talk about? I don't know. And like, I just half the time when I don't know who's going to show up, and I don't, because like when you guys are here and like y'all are my people, y'all are my regulars, y'all are my people. And because of that, what did you miss, Rosie? Which did you miss? My one from Sunday, my live stream on Sunday was my Grove unboxing. If you saw the Grove unboxing, you saw the right thing. You saw the thing from Sunday morning. Live. Yeah, it was live. You might have seen it later, but it was live. I went live at like 8:30 in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. I think it was 9:30 and or something like that. And because I was up and I needed to clean. I needed to get the box off the counter. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to set up. And like, it wasn't a fancy camera setup. I just grabbed my phone and my tripod and put it up and did the thing. And whoever decided to show up chatted with me for a while. That's all it was. The Facebook thing was for the people who signed up for my group coaching. I did a live Q&A for group coaching people. So that's my group of 7 that signed up for my 6-week coaching program. So that was exclusive. And yeah. So shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so I just always wonder, like, when you all are here, we can have a perfect conversation. You guys are great at making sure the conversation stays going. But when I have something kind of on my heart, but don't know what I'm going to say about it, I'm like, is this going to be worth it? Is it going to be, I don't know. But I don't know. The good old live streams haven't failed me yet. So I just need to do more. And I'm actually working on today. One of my goals today is to set up my schedule for all of the different internet live stream type things that need to happen, because I have, for the rest of the year, I have book club, and then we have our regular live streams on the YouTube channel, and then we've got a couple of Zoom calls that need to happen in the Patreon, and I'm just trying to figure out, and I'm in macro mentorship until the end of November, and I want to be at as many of those as possible, which eliminates Wednesday nights. And so like, I just need to look at my entire calendar, and like, we're traveling for a week in October, which of course, well, we think we're traveling. We don't actually know. My husband's taking off work for a week at the beginning of October, which means I'm taking off work for a week at the beginning of October, which of course means that I have to move the book club and the live stream because my husband's timing couldn't be any more awesome. But you know, we have to do it because he's also getting burnt out and all that. And so I'm working on just like all the things. I want to get that scheduled for the live streams, because then what if I put up some more live streams? What if I don't know. I love hanging out with you guys, and I love interacting with you guys, and I love creating for you guys. And I want to make sure that I continue to love it. Maybe introduce the weekly chats again. Yeah. I'm wondering if like, that's what I want to figure out, because the reality is, so the holiday season is going to make it more difficult. We might be traveling. We might be traveling for an extended period of time. We don't know. Your girl does not thrive in the unknown. And right now, for the next couple months, all I'm living in is the unknown. And you would think that given what I do, the fact that as long as I have a computer or even a phone with me, I can do my work. You would think that the unknown wouldn't bother me, but it does. I am a home girl, homebody, home girl, love my routines. Don't mess with me. And if you're going to mess with me, please tell me in advance. Thank you. And so I just don't do well with not knowing what I'm going to be doing for the holidays, not knowing what I'm going to be doing for whatever. I told my husband this the other day. I didn't realize just how much I was bothered by the fact that we no longer lived in Chicago. Not necessarily because of my family and seeing them regularly per se. Don't get me wrong. I love my family and I love that we saw them. But the thing that irks me the most is that we are back to traveling for both holidays. And it is so inconvenient, and it makes the seasons not enjoyable for me anymore. And they're my favorite time of year. And when we lived in Chicago, I could decorate my house. And even if it was every other year, because we would be in Florida for every other Christmas, I could decorate my house. On Christmas, I could do all the Christmas things. And on Christmas Eve, I can sleep in my house, wake up on Christmas in my house with my Christmas tree, go to my parents' house and celebrate Christmas and come back home. And now that we don't live in Chicago, I don't get to enjoy holidays at home anymore because we're traveling. And it's not fun. The traveling part. The being with family is great, but the traveling part is not fun. And I didn't realize just how much of a problem I was having with that. And are we traveling for just a week? Are we staying down in Florida for 4 months? Who knows? Like, the unknown. I do not do well with the unknown. Tangent. I find Grove to be addictive. I love their cleaning accessories and tools. Girl, send me a list of your favorites because I'm a big fan of what I've used so far. I used the glass cleaner concentrate that I mixed up on the live stream. Loving it. Works really great on the mirrors. And I am loving having the apple cider soap and all that. And the garbage disposal cleaner I used, I really enjoyed that. So I'm feeling really good about the stuff that I purchased. And somebody, I don't know who, but somebody used my link and I have $10 credit sitting in my account, which is awesome. So if anyone else wants to use my link so I can just buy more stuff, that'd be great. Thanks. Oh man, I sit pretty comfortably in the unknown. Yes. And I don't know how you can do that. Here's the thing. I never thought of myself as like this rigid, routine oriented human being. But like, I am apparently firmly rooted in like home. Here's something that told me that I'm a homebody. When my husband and I were talking about like finding a bed and breakfast to go to, taking just a couple of days to go and just spend some time together, not at home, because my husband needs to leave in order to unplug, which is why like I joke that the only way I get him to not work is to stick him in the middle of the ocean, which is why we go on cruises every couple of years, because that's the only way I can get him to unplug. And so he was, as he's trying to plan this little like mini getaway for us, he's like, what do you want? What is the ideal way to unplug for you? And like in thinking about it, like he's like, where do you want to go? I'm like, when I go and do things, I want to go to like Disney and do all of the fun, like immerse myself in this fantastical alternate reality, which is kind of why I like cruises too. Like I love the luxury of it all. I'm such a glamorous diva. My gosh. But like that's what I like. But I'm like in an idea of like how to spend 2 days at a romantic hotel somewhere. Like my ideal is like, let's spend the money to make our bedroom feel like the fancy hotel room bed and breakfast thing. And let's just stay home. Like that's how I feel about it. I want my home to be the luxurious place so I don't have to go anywhere. And like, as I was thinking about that, I'm like, I might be a homebody. Like if that's the goal, you know, don't get me wrong. I don't like to travel from point A to point B, but I like to be in different places, but like to relax, I just want to be home. Make my home luxurious and beautiful and just let me be there, you know? I love travel as long as I keep control of the schedule while we are traveling. When other people are in control of it, I don't like it at all. I tell you, this is how, like I've mentioned many times, we've gone on cruises. My honeymoon was a 2-week cruise to the Mediterranean, like amazing, but it was so busy. Then we started doing family cruises with my sister-in-law and my in-laws. And my sister-in-law is like my husband and wants to, if you're on vacation, you are doing something. And she wants to have every minute of every day planned and doing something. And what are we doing then? And what are we doing next? And this and that. And I was like, Kristen, this is exhausting. Why can't you just let me be? you know? And so like, but if it were me, I'm like, what are we going to do today? Oh, I don't know. I was thinking maybe we'll lounge by the pool. I was thinking maybe we go see a show, maybe walk around the promenade and have a nice cup of coffee, things like that. Hi, Macy, you can come in here. She's really perturbed that daddy's not home. She's going to be in big trouble when he goes back to work. But yeah. And so for me, when other people are in charge of the travel schedule, it's typically my husband's side of the family, and it's typically giving us a to-do list that's a mile long. That is not relaxing to me. There's a time and a place, but it is not a vacation. It is not a vacation. I think recognizing your comfort zones with routine and being able to plan things out and anticipate what comes next is good self-realization. Knowing how you operate gives you areas to work on. Yes. And that is in real time what I'm working on. And it's something I've been working on for a while. But like, there is the person that you wish you were and the person that you are. And I spent a lot of my adult life trying to become the person I wish I was. And then getting frustrated when I realized that wasn't working, when I wasn't trying hard enough, when I wasn't succeeding, when I wasn't able to uphold the habits or whatever of the person that I wish I was. And that's when, like, even if you want to use the 4 tendencies, when I thought I was an upholder because I want to be an upholder, then I realized that I am in fact this other person. And instead of trying to combat who I am, what if I learned how to embrace who I am and figure out what makes me, the real me, not the me I want to be, but the real me, tick, and how that works. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. I want to be the YouTuber that creates the content, that has the views, the comments, the this, the that, the community. I have the community. I have it. But I need to take the person that I want and put her with the person that I am and figure out how to make this person do this stuff the way she's capable. Does that make sense? So you're right. Like I'm working in real time to learn more about myself and learn how to work with myself instead of against myself. Because when I start to work against myself, the burnout happens without fail every time. Every time. See, it's people like that that makes me stay in control of the schedule because I don't like super busy vacations. I don't either. My joke was after our honeymoon, because it was exhausting. It was an exhausting honeymoon. It was so much fun. We went to like Ephesus. We saw places that were in the Bible, like really cool. I was so tired. And I'm like, what kind of honeymoon is this? We're supposed to be on a nice leisurely romantic vacation. And I'm working harder on this vacation than I've ever worked in my life. So I told my husband, I'm like, you owe me a vacation from our vacation. And he delivered. Like 2 years later, we went on a cruise, just the two of us, super leisurely, and it was great. And then we went on a vacation with his parents and his sister, and we did more things. And we just had to make sure that there was an understanding, a balance of like, how about you guys go do this? And it's really, for me, it's really nice when we all travel together, because if Eric wants to go do something and Kristen wants to go do something, and Brianna does not want to go do something, I let those two go and do it. And I get to stay back and do whatever the heck I want, which is typically relax. It's a balancing act. I definitely don't want to be a rebel. I desire to be a questioner. Yeah, that isn't my reality. 100% rebel 100% of the time. It's exhausting. Yeah. It's hard figuring out what makes you rebels click. It really is. Okay. But yeah, I have been on here for almost an hour. I can't even believe it. Thank y'all for listening. Do you have anything else that you want to comment on, question, rebel against, whatever? Let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go, because I think like I've covered everything. Busting burnout. So actively, to recap, I am actively working to bust the burnout that I am feeling in my life by giving myself permission to do what I need to do, which is going to be less sit-down content for a while. And more of this, more of sharing my life with you, my loves with you, my hauls with you. I want to work on, I have a desire to, what are some like the random goals that I've come up with? I want to work on curating my style, like for my body right now before weight loss. I want to work on self-care. I want to work on home related things. I just have so many things I want to work on that because they haven't been tied to the specific niche that YouTube magically put me in because I was sharing my life, I've been feeling more pressure to share stuff on that arena, which is not a season of life I'm in right now. Yeah. And so I want to share my life right now as it is, for real, instead of trying to come up with stuff to appease the audience that came to me for something that I currently just don't do. And it's weight loss, but I'm just really need to pick the camera. It's been almost 40 days. Oh my gosh, Lindsay. I always get excited when I see you pop up on my newsfeed. I was like, oh, she did a video. Yay. It's always nice to see your face. But that's what I like. I still share a lot of that stuff because I am now a nutrition coach. I'm a wellness coach, y'all. Nutrition, I'm driven by this. I want everybody to be living their healthiest lives, myself included. And I'm working with a coach and doing the whole reverse diet thing into maintenance. I'm doing it. But because it's not weight loss for everybody, a lot of people I'm working with aren't trying to lose weight right now. A lot of people are trying to reverse diet just like me. And that's great. That's healthy. That's exactly what they need to be doing for themselves. But I need to share content based on what I'm doing, not based on what y'all want to hear about points and bites. Even though I track bites, it's still my jam because I can count calories and macros on it. But you know what I mean? Like everyone's like, what are the lowest bite snacks? It's not my goal anymore. Not my concern. So I'm going to share what is my concern with you. So I hope you're ready for that. I really hope you're able to show more of that housewife life stuff as this progression happens. Yeah, me too. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to do it because a lot of those videos sometimes a whole lot of filming and work and everything for like a clean with me. And I don't know how interested y'all are in like clean with me's, but I do want to talk you through like, here's what I'm doing and here's why. So I do have clips of like all of the organizational projects I've been working on that I'm going to compile into one vlog and things like that. And my clean eating, my cleaner eating. The clean eating Karens are going to come for me. I know they are because I'm going to start talking about clean eating, but I'm not going to be perfectly clean. Therefore, am I a clean eater? Back up, Karen. I'm going to be a cleaner eater. And so like, I want to share all of that. I want to share all of that with y'all. I want to share. And that's really what this is. Like, I'm tired of feeling burnt out by the thing that I want to do. So I'm going to do what I want to do, which is ultimately just share life with you. So on that note, I should probably go because I have some life sharing to do. I have to edit and I have to make some schedules for all of the things. So if you want to hang out in Patreon in our Discord channel, the link to Patreon is down below. It's a fun little group. There's only a handful of us right now, but I'm hoping it'll grow. I'm loving our Discord channel. I'm loving our challenges. It's going to be a good time. Yeah. All right, friends. Thank you for hanging out. I love each and every one of you so stinking much. Thank you for letting me just word vomit all of my thoughts on you and all of that jazz. You know? Preach. Love it. I love the idea of cleaner rather than perfect. That's my jam, Marie. Like, I want to be a cleaner eater. I want to be more ingredient conscious. I found lunch meat that is literally all clean ingredients and it's available at my Target and it's amazing. But I'm always going to love to eat some ice cream or some chocolate chip cookies. I found Sweet Martha's chocolate chip cookie dough at Aldi and it's amazing, but it ain't clean. And you know what? I don't care. So cleanish. Your girl is cleanish eating. On that note, I'll talk to y'all later. Love you all.